everybody. Welcome to another segment of Smarterfan Podcast, where we bring you behind the veil of sports, business, and life. I'm Joe, and this is Barry. How you doing, Barry?
Doing good, Joe. Lots going on. Lots going on. I mean, what
That's
a
for
what
sure.
a playoff weekend and whole
Mm,
lot of stuff going on, my friend. Whole lot of stuff going on.
yeah. So what you got cooking?
Well, I got cooking. Really got off the top is really kind of finish off with Coach Prime and
Hmm.
talking about so many things that Coach Prime is instituting with the portal, new coaching staff, upgrading. The word out is now Marshall Falk is coming to coach.
Ooh.
Yeah, to coach the running backs,
Mm,
which I think it would be a big help as they seek to establish the run game, and they got the blocking, and so he's building quite a fortress. I mean, there's a lot of
hmm
talk, as you know, going on, and that's just part of the business. But I think, and it's what I call smart negotiations. He puts it out there. Only way I'd consider it, I can coach my boys, both of them.
hmm
Right? So he really puts the onus, the pressure not on him. He puts the pressure on the franchise,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you got to pay me a premium, right? So he basically, a friend of mine said, "Well, why do you think he would put it that way?" Well, he it enables him to get his boys established over his tenure, right?
mm,
Gets to coach them up, take them behind the scenes, and help them mature and really get a good opportunity because it's the same and from any level of sport.
right.
You don't always get the best people and the best coaching and people who know what they're doing, you know?
Yeah.
And which kind of yeah, I mean that's the reality of it. You know what I mean? A lot of careers end or never get started or never live to their full potential because of the organization and a
Hmm.
lack of support, lack of infrastructure. I mean, there's a reason why Kansas City and franchises that go on runs like that are
Yeah.
that are that way.
Yep.
It's not
Yep.
by mistake. It's not by talent only. There's a lot of moving pieces, and that's really what makes the Saban era happen, and that's what Prime is the modeling after in his own way.
Yep.
And it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna
Yeah.
be very interesting.
Well, yes, it will. Yes, it will. So I'm going to switch gears a bit because the NBA family lost Gus Williams recently.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I'm going to delve into a little bit of his story. Okay. He's a local boy from Mount Vernon, New York.
Mhm.
Went to Mount Vernon High School. He was named Player of the Year by the New York State Sports Writers Association in '71. And then he went to USC where he played point guard. Now, he was drafted by the Golden State Warriors of the NBA and the Spirit of St. Louis of the ABA,
Mm,
but he chose Golden State, and he was nicknamed the Wizard because of his acrobatics, right?
mm.
So yeah, he signed with the Warriors, and he was named to the NBA All Rookie team in his first season.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Now he only spent 2 seasons with Golden State before he signed. Then he signed as a free agent with the Supersonics, and he led the Sonics to their only NBA championship in '79. Where,
Mm,
yeah, he was good, man. He averaged 28.6 points per game in the finals.
mm,
Now he sat out the '80 season because of a contract dispute, and then he came back in '81 and he finished seventh in scoring. So he was named comeback player of the year.
mm.
So yeah, he did stints with the Washington Bullets, and he finished his career with the Hawks, where he averaged 17.1 points per game.
Mm.
His jersey was retired by the Sonics in '04,
Mhm.
and in '16 his jersey was retired by USC.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
So yeah, yeah. And unfortunately, in 20, he suffered a stroke.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, and he lived in an assisted living facility in the Baltimore area, and then
Sure.
he recently died, at the age of 71.
Mm, mm, mm.
So, I mean, Mount Vernon, that was a basketball factory.
Yeah, for a 4x4, not a very big city, but some
Yeah.
serious genetics and just amazing, amazing. There's probably some historian that has done something about Mount Vernon and sports, music, entertainment. There's a
Mm.
lot acting, right?
Oh,
Denzel
yeah.
Watt, right? And for
Yeah.
like where did these people migrate from? Right?
Yeah. A lot of
It's
people came out of Mount Vernon,
a
you know,
lot.
Lou
A
Albano, Art
Yes.
Carney,
Yes.
you know?
Former Dodger players. I mean, it's you got to say like, is there something in the water? It's like Western Pennsylvania. How does
Mm.
Western Pennsylvania keep producing these Hall of Famers? Whether it's Namath, Montana, uh, Rebus Island, what's going Dan Marine? What's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, the concentration there, that's for sure.
something's going on. Something's going on.
And
Absolutely.
so, what's going on with the Ravens?
Oh my goodness, Joe. Oh my goodness. I thought you put these people up to call me. Everybody. Oh, I had 10 people calling me. What about the Ravens? It's LeVar Morris' fault. It's the tight end's fault. It's whatever fault. And I said, I think I said it on my podcast maybe 2 or 3 or a year ago. I said the problem with the Ravens are not the players, it's the coach. And the phones went silent. They're like, what? The problem with the Ravens is not the players. It's the coach.
Yeah.
I said, and they said, well, explain, Barry. I said, it's as simple as this. What do you know about the Buffalo Bills? They can put up a lot of points. So what should I come in with my strategy to keep them off the field? How do I keep them off the field? I got to have a run game. Well, I have one of the best running backs ever. I paid a lot of money for him.
Mhm.
The field is slippery, so advantage even goes more to him. Now I
Yeah.
just need to tell my hogs up front, this is how we're going to win the game. We're going to eat the clock and we're going to bang them all the way. In the
Mm.
first half, what they're going to do, they're going to sit in the box anticipating who? Derrick Henry. So what
Mhm.
do I tell Lamar? We're going to dink and dunk, right? To the flat and take what they give us in the first half, right? We're going to go downfield to keep them honest. And I'm going to option with Derrick Henry in the first half. Sometimes I'm going to give it to him. Sometimes I'm not in the first half.
Mm.
I'm gonna soften up the defense a little bit because now I know and they know what each wants to do. Then I'm going to stick it down your throat with Derrick Henry until you stop him.
Hmm.
That's my game plan.
Yeah. Well.
And I said when they gave him the ball, like over and over, they didn't have an answer. Why would you not go to that? You're playing in Buffalo and you're playing in the snow. You could see they were very overly aggressive. So, right? So
Yeah.
again, I said, it's the coaching. They said, well, why you say the coaching? Because he's not a visionary coach.
Hmm.
He takes talent and that's all he's been doing is putting talent in place, but he doesn't develop the talent. So he doesn't even tell Lamar, if you look at the body language, when they went to the 2-point conversion, it's almost remind me of Skittle and Pete Carroll at the Super Bowl. I'm
Mm.
not going to run this ball with Derrick Henry behind me and dare you to stop me on the 2-point conversion.
Mm.
You don't
Well.
have any vision. You don't have any vision. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry. But
Well.
you know,
I'm gonna
yeah,
piggyback on that.
Okay,
because
okay.
this week the NFL playoffs was as advertised. I mean, the
It was.
Commanders just ran all over the Lions,
They
right? They
really
had
did.
no answer for their running game whatsoever, you know.
Nothing.
And what killed the Lions is turnovers. And I think
Yeah,
those
dog, you can't have
injuries,
that.
yeah, and those injuries I think finally caught up to them, you know, it,
Yeah, you gotta yeah, yeah. You
because
gotta have
they
your
just,
personnel.
yeah, and they just had no answer for their running game whatsoever. You
No.
know, now Jaden Daniels, he's he's the sixth rookie quarterback to reach the championship, right?
The boy
Now, I mean, he's a bad man.
he's got a bad coach.
Mhm.
He's being coached.
Yep. And the
That's why he's
last,
having success. He's being coached.
yeah, and the last time the Redskins won the Super Bowl, Bobby Wagner was 19 months old.
Oh, wow. That's that's sobering. Wow.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now the Chiefs did what the Chiefs do. Kelsey just flips the switch and he's right on it in the playoffs, you know.
Hey, he's gonna be 40 soon. He's like, I don't care about the regular season. I care about money time. That's why I was laughing at people. I was like, are you really gonna try to tell me one of the best tight ends in history is washed up because he's not doing all these crazy numbers?
Mm.
I just sit there and laugh, and I'm like, because I was watching the game, and I was like, you're not gonna double team him? Are you crazy? And you see what happened.
Yeah. Well, he had half of the receptions and more than half of the receiving yards in the game. So there you go. you know. So
This just
now
happens. Hmm.
now Saquon, he reeled off 205 yards against the Rams in the snow. Now that is football weather right there, you
Uh,
know.
uh, yeah.
And
Well, hmm hmm
but the Rams still made a game of it, you know.
no, they came
Uh
to play. The Rams
yeah,
come to play.
yeah, you know. Now they came up short, you
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
the Eagles are on their way to the I-95 championship game. So now
That's
my
funny.
cousins in Georgia and Pennsylvania are very happy right now.
I'm sure. I'm
You
sure. I'm
know, it's
sure.
fly, Eagles, fly. So,
I am sure they're excited.
you
Yeah.
know,
As yep. Hmm. Hmm.
and getting back to the Bills and the Ravens, you know, they were like two heavyweights going at it, you know. And
Oh yeah.
another thing, the turnovers killed the Ravens,
You can't. You
you
know.
know.
That's why I say about coaching. I was like, at this point in your career, you've seen enough blitzes. Throw it away.
Hmm.
You know you're playing in the snow. Fall on the ball, but don't give up six. You have a
Yeah,
2 point conversion. You know you got to step back enough. You got to sell the fake. You know they're aggressive.
yeah,
You allow a
yeah.
down lineman to jump up and block the 2 point conversion. Again, I still don't understand, Joe, why people don't run the tight end to the coffin corner. I don't understand why they do it. Plaxico
Yeah.
Burress and Eli Manning mastered that. Why do you
Mhm.
run into the teeth of the defense? I don't have to move. Once I'm 20 yards in, it's tight.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
inches. So why not go throw up Andrews a little lob pass? And it's right there. You got the sidelines, and there's nothing a 5'9", 5'10" corner can do with you.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
but what do? They keep throwing it into the teeth of the defense, making it easy for them. And I just like I really sit there and I go, Lamar's been in the league a little while now. Lamar, you should have a lot more.
Well,
You should be making better decisions.
they're gonna always say until he does it that he can't get over the hump,
Yeah, he can't. And
you
I
know?
don't think it's always his fault, but he's not. It's one thing I keep trying to say. It's one thing to have talent. It's different to have skill, and it's different to have mastery. They're
Mm,
different things. And
yeah.
Mahomes, if you watch the game, how Mahomes plays, that's mastery.
Yep. Yep.
That's not talent, and that's not
Mm.
skill. That's mastery. He knows how to win.
So, athletes with positive socialization.
Yeah, I have an ongoing conversation with a good friend of mine who's a strength and conditioning coach for
Hmm.
25 years. He's won a lot of, and he's written a book about it. And I keep trying to tell him he really needs to figure out a way to get that into a lot of parents of athletes' hands because it's a big problem, and it's only becoming more acute.
Mm,
But it's always been a problem. And people say, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "As an athlete, you live a very structured, contained life, right?
mm.
And it even gets more so if you're really good, right? You get
Yeah.
treated different, you eat different, you dress different, you get
Mhm.
it's really a different world, right? And what happens in high school, and then when you go to college, and if that you're fortunate enough that that continues, right? You like they say, Lamar after he took the field from the starter, he couldn't go to class anymore.
Mm,
He had to take all his classes online
mm.
because he became this national phenomenon,
Right. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So he can't go to class anymore, right? Cam Newton, I couldn't go to class anymore, right? And you're experiencing this at what, 19, 20 years old,
Yeah.
18, 19,
Yeah.
right? So you're living like this really weird existence, right? And at a very young age. And then you come into the business of sports, and there's these expectations put on you, right? That you've never had. And then, one day you got $1.35 in your checking account, and the next day after the draft, you got 13.5 million.
Mm. Yeah.
Right? Signing bonus.
Mm-hmm.
No one told you how to handle that, right?
Nope.
So and then so you're now in the business of it, and agents and people hitting you up and family hitting you up, and but nobody told you anything about how to manage money, how to save your money, how to extend
Mm-mm.
your money, because at very best, you got 10 years. The average is 3 to 4.
Right.
So how do you negotiate? How do you negotiate the politics of pro sports? Why does this guy get to play more than me when I'm better than him? Because his coach went to Michigan and coached him in Michigan. So even
Mm.
though I run circles around him in practice and game time, I don't get full-time run because his coach of Michigan is trying to pop up his boy because
Right. Yep.
this right here is the unspoken entity. If I draft you and you blow up, I get special treatment as
Mm.
the whoever drafts you, right?
Mm.
That's how it works. They don't
Yeah.
talk about that, right? So when
Yep.
your guy gets drafted and your guy does really well, oh, you get millions of dollars.
Mm.
And the only coach I've ever heard be honest about it was the special teams coach for Devin Hester and the Bears back in the day when he was
Mm.
just putting on a show,
Oh
and
yeah.
he was
Yeah.
honest. He said, "Hey, the way Devin played elevated my salary, my lifestyle, everything because we were
Sure.
having so much success." And
Yeah.
people don't like to talk about it, but they go together. They
Yep.
go together.
Yep.
And so, like the whole thing, like you heard me talk about Everflus, and trying to sell that thing. Oh, we need a quarterback. We need a quarterback. We need a quarterback. No, you don't know how to coach. And your people don't know how to coach. And the Bears cut you.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's Brown's turn now.
Interesting.
Is it Brown or is it Johnson? Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson.
Is it Ben Johnson?
Bill? Is it Bill? Huh?
The offensive coordinator for the Lions. He just
Oh, yeah, it's Ben.
yeah,
Oh,
Ben Johnson. Yeah.
He just signed
Yeah.
with them? Okay.
Yeah, the Bears just picked him up. So
Okay. Okay.
so
It's gonna be
so
interesting.
definitely. So now Major League Baseball, okay? I do not want to hear anybody talk about how the Yankees are the evil empire ever again. Okay?
What does that even mean?
I'll tell you. Because the Dodgers seem to have cornered the market on the Japanese players,
Yeah.
right?
They're closer to Japan.
Yeah, so right, right.
Uh,
I mean, Roki Sasaki said he's joining the Dodgers now. He's that new pitching phenom coming out of Japan,
huh, huh,
and that's along with the Dodgers already have Otani and Yamamoto.
huh.
So to go with Blake Snell, and they just recently acquired a closer, Tanner Scott.
Yeah.
So the Dodgers, they're just buying up everybody. So
No, it's
that,
called competing.
yeah. But everybody called the Yankees the evil empire when they did it.
I don't listen to them people.
Yeah. Well, they can't say it anymore because now it's the Dodgers.
Nah, I don't even listen to that foolishness.
You know?
George, I don't. If you haven't figured it out, how do you think George Steinbrenner won all those championships? Get the
Mm,
best players, you pay them the most money, and you light the feet under their fire. That you better win
of
because I
course.
gave you the money.
Of course. Of course.
It's a very simple
So,
formula.
but what the Dodgers are doing though is they're deferring all these contracts. So they're
Makes
in
sense.
win now mode
Yeah,
and kick the can down the road.
yeah.
You
Because
know?
the money. Why would you like to know why?
Sure.
Because the money is so large for winning. It's obscene, Joe.
Mm,
The money is obscene. People say, "What do you mean?" You're paying one. Baseball has the biggest roster. I think bigger than football or
mm,
close. Think about this, Joe. You're paying one person 700 million.
mm,
There's at least 30 other guys you got to pay.
mm-hmm,
So what kind of money are they making? These owners.
mm. Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
have the money to be able to do that. Because
Mhm.
last night, Joe, guess what I was doing? Ordering a new hoodie, Dodger hoodie, and ordering a new Yankee hoodie.
Hmm.
Now
Yeah.
multiply that by millions of fans,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So, well, that's what they're doing. They're deferring these contracts so that they can keep
Plus,
getting
where they're
more players.
located, major hub.
Yeah. That too. That helps.
Yeah,
That helps.
yeah, yeah. What they're developing is a pipeline, right? That's
Yep.
what they're doing. Just like when the Dominicans came up and they came up through Florida teams because it's closer to Dominican Republic,
Mm.
up the East Coast border, right? It's the same thing.
Yep.
All of a sudden, you started a proliferation of Dominican players in New York and all up in the Eastern. So they figured, well, let's do the same thing with Japanese players on the West Coast. Why not?
And it seems that everything magic touches turns to gold.
Well, that's why they call them magic.
you
That's why they
know?
call them magic.
So now the 2025 Hall of Fame ballot.
Mm.
Uh, these three guys, I think, should get in with no problem. CC Sabathia, the
Oh
guy
yeah,
was, yeah, he was a workhorse. He pitched at least 180 innings in his first 13 seasons.
that's
Who does that anymore now? You know,
that's crazy.
and he's one of three lefties to surpass 250 wins and 3,000 strikeouts.
Wow.
So, you know, and Ichiro, okay, Ichiro, he had 242 hits and a 350 average in his rookie season with Seattle,
Hmm.
and also won the MVP. And he set the all-time record for hits with 262 in a season.
Mm.
So I'm sure he's not going to have any problem getting in. You know, now King Felix, he spent all 15 years with Seattle, which is unheard of these days.
Oh yeah.
you know, and he had a 2.90 ERA over 1,796 innings from '08 to 15, and he pitched at least 200 innings in that time. You're never going to see a pitcher throw 200 innings in this
No,
day and age. You
no.
know, these guys don't get past the fifth inning now.
They soft. They soft. That money makes you soft.
I'm telling you, man. So and he won the Cy Young in 2010, which I feel CC should have won,
Hmm.
but because I mean Hernandez had a 13-12 record, but he also had a 2.27 ERA, which led the league. So I mean CC had 19 wins that year, but I don't remember what his ERA was. But you know, and he also pitched a perfect game in 2012, the 23rd perfect game. So,
Amazing.
so those are my three that I think should automatically get in. But I think I think next week, sometime next week, I think is when they announce who's going to be in the Hall of Fame. So
Mhm.
we'll have to just wait and see how that uh, unfolds. I mean, the Dustin Pedroias and the Ian Kinslers, and they're like borderline, but
Mhm.
for me, those are those three. So that's all I got for this week.
That's enough, but we really cooked up. We cooked up a couple hors d'oeuvres, appetizers, and a main meal today.
That's
We gave
right.
a lot. We got a lot, but we got a lot coming toward you. We got a special thing happening on Wednesday, and so you definitely want to tune in. Smarter Fan family, it's gonna be interesting. Imagine being able to talk to a player who's probably played in all three professional football leagues and is still
Mm,
playing. Yeah, you want to hear his stories and his agent. So get ready for that one, Smarter Fan family. See you next
all
week.
right. Stay in the game.
Stay in the game. Good night.
Good night.
Smarterfan. Smarterfan. Yeah. Smarterfan.